Hello beautiful people of Instagram. Happy Sunday. I do hope this video finds you well. I hope you're all having a fantastic weekend and enjoying the new easing of the lockdown rules. I know a lot of people have been waiting for this lockdown to sort of ease for months and months and months. However, I do have a slight concern, and I'm going to talk to you about that now. See, in London, it is illegal to go into any sort of public transport like the tube, bus, etc. without wearing a face mask, because we are in this pandemic and we need to be sensible, right? We need to be sensible. I did a post yesterday where I was wearing a face mask. It's not. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't like wearing the face mask, but I'll still do it when I'm on public transport. You know, it's good to adhere to the rules and to be sensible. But my concern is that after going through, I mean, we've all gone through it, 3.5 months of lockdown. My concern is, and it might be completely ill-founded, and I'm not saying that I'm right here, but I am concerned about a second wave and a second lockdown, because this lockdown period, whilst many people have been furloughed and still being paid by their employers, there are millions and millions and millions of people who haven't had that luxury and have lost a huge amount of money, have potentially lost their jobs, and we're going to see more job losses coming over the coming months. And the shock wave from the amount of debt that the UK has accumulated through this sort of lockdown period is vast, and we're likely to be entering into a pretty biblical type recession over the next sort of coming months. And the idea of having to go into a second lockdown due to a second wave, I'm not going to lie, it terrifies me. It's not something that I want to experience, because it really screws with people's, jobs and finances and livelihoods. So when I heard that the government was going to be easing the restrictions, as supportive as I am of easing restrictions, because who wants to be living in this lockdown period in the UK? None of us do, realistically. But I was concerned that they're going to open pubs, and then after 3.5 months of literally being locked inside your bloody houses, people would go nuts. And especially, we know when we drink alcohol and we use other recreational substances to let loose, free ourselves, then let's be realistic. Social distancing is going to be a bit of a challenge, right? Because we're touchy-feely type creatures. We hug, we embrace each other, especially after we've had quite a lot of booze inside of us. All of the inhibitions go out of the window, all of the rules seem to be forgotten, etc., etc. So what I'm going to show you even, is a number of photos from last night in London and around the UK, just to show you what people are like when they decide, you know what, 3.5 months, never not been to a pub, going to go out, we're going to party. There is no social distancing. There are no face masks. There's no PPE. And if we are in the midst of this huge pandemic, and if the R rate is very, very close to 1, and if we still need to protect those with weakened immune systems, etc., and complex health issues, is it really sensible to be easing these restrictions right now and allowing thousands of people, literally in the streets of London, thousands of people out on the streets, drinking, partying, socialising? Is it? I'm going to share some photos. They'll be popping up on the screen as I'm talking, and you guys can have a look and you can let me know your thoughts, because I have no issue with celebrating, partying, going out. I'm all for that. I'm a complete bloody liberal. I never like the idea of lockdown. I understand the reasonings and the rationings behind it, but I'm not saying that I ever enjoyed having my freedom taken from me, and I'm sure a lot of you would agree with me on that. But I think we have to be sensible. And my concern about a second wave, again, I'm not a scientist, I could be completely wrong, but the media do seem to be banging on about this second wave, and then there's that potential for a second lockdown, which, as I've said earlier in the video, would be a disaster in my humble opinion. So let me know your thoughts. because I think it's an important topic to discuss, because moving forward the restrictions are going to ease, people are going to go out, and I just want to be, well, I'm just intrigued, I'm interested to see if you guys have the same concerns as me. Because in the media, sorry, a bit croaky, in the media it says England's first night out after 3 months has been named absolute madness, with many drunken punters accused of flouting social distancing guidelines. Several pubs across the country, including Lincoln and Nottinghamshire, have closed early, with arrests made for alcohol-related anti-social behaviour. Meanwhile, crowded scenes in Soho, you'll see the photos, have sparked alarm amid concerns that the R rate in London has risen above 1 again. Massive queues were seen outside English boozers all day long on Saturday, with some people reportedly having to wait up to an hour to get inside. Shocking. So let me know your thoughts, and whatever you guys go and do, just remember to be sensible and safe, because the last thing we want is a second lockdown, because that would just be a total disaster. Big love from Boo.